Hi, I'm Pamela Chapman from Saving Victims, where you leave your journey of pain behind and begin your journey of love. So in this slide presentation, I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite posts and a post that was liked by many on LinkedIn as well as Facebook. So what's love got to do with it? A few easy tips for finding true love. So, I grew up with the highs and lows of the 60s and 70s. And one thing I am truly grateful for during that era is the amazing music and the artists of its times. We had Aretha Rock and Rollin' Franklin, Mick Jagger, The Temptations, and the amazing and talented Tina Turner, only to name a few. But for this piece, I'd like to look more closely at one of Miss Turner's biggest hits among many. What's Love Got to Do with It? As Miss Turner's life unfolded before us with the release of the biographical film by the same name in 1993, it became apparent why and how Turner could write the following lyrics.
You must understand the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion?
Clearly in her lyrics, Miss Turner is speaking about a physical attraction, and love, real love, is clearly denounced or at least not worth being sought. She speaks of opposites attracting, and we clearly know today via quantum physics, like attracts like. Okay, so this emotion she's read about has led to brokenheartedness, and if you know her story, a few broken bones as well. This may have been your experience, or you may be experiencing it now. So, from this, let's explore love from a different perspective. For just a few minutes, please. Let's look at love from a personal, purely selfish viewpoint. That is, looking at love within ourselves first, not narcissistically, but from self preservation. We will see that love, agape love, is all beautiful, perfect, and divine. So now let's look at what this agape is. What does agape mean? Agape is an ancient Greek Christian term referring to love. It is the highest form of love and charity. Agape is the love of God for man and of man for God. The word should not be confused with philia, as in Philadelphia, brotherly love, as it embraces a universal, unconditional love that transcends and persists regardless of circumstance. So, as a family violence specialist, I've had the opportunity to work with many women in domestic family violence situations, and let's not forget that men are victims of domestic family violence as well. This is what brought Susan Murphy Milano and Delilah and I together. And what have I found common in every situation? The absence of universal, unconditional love for oneself. I have uncovered guilt, shame, and even self loathing. I have had countless agencies, hence individuals, tell me a person must cycle in and out of a shelter or leave their home at least 7 times or until they and their children and or extended family experience some drastic situation or behavior from the abuser. This is usually the threat of death to themselves, their children, or family members. I will stand on this truth. If one, male or female, heterosexual or homosexual, and of any ethnicity, will accept they are made in the image and likeness of Almighty God and can begin to experience the unconditional love of God for themselves, the violent and abusive cycle will cease. It must. With this unconditional love and acceptance of self, several things begin to happen almost instantly. One, one's self-esteem and self-worth is magnified. Two, the offender is no longer able to bully the victim because they, the victim, realizes they are only a victim to their own limiting beliefs and mindset. The victim's self-power is instantly increased. The energy level of the victim shifts, and they then only attract those in their like energy. Opposites do not attract. We attract exactly what we are. Thereby, individuals with low self-esteem will not be drawn to those with higher vibrational levels believing in a higher love, resonating in love for themselves first. Abusers are attracted to those with low self-esteem so they might appear bigger. I call them bully boogers. And four, when one takes on the consciousness of Christ and realizes there is no greater love, anything that attempts to approach not of the same consciousness feels uncomfortable. They or the situation is rejected right away or very soon following. And how do we experience this love? Through prayer and meditation. Now, don't get nervous. I know many of you hear that word and all these false thoughts are conjured up. Meditation is simply being silent and allowing God's love to flow into you and through you, and your love to flow back to Him. Do this with me. Bring both hands to your heart as a suggestion of embracing and feel the source of love. Do this for about 5 seconds. Keeping company with love-filled individuals. Learning to say no thank you without explanation to anyone who doesn't bring love in your mind's eye. Next, listening to uplifting and positive music. Reject music that refers to you as anything less than your divine self. Ladies, you are not bitches. You are not whores. You are the divine queens made by God and of God. And here's the big one. Abstaining from mainstream media and social media that pops up on your telephones, on your laptops. Walk away. Reading inspirational, faith, and love-filled works to include scriptures and literature to raise your consciousness, self-help books. Repeating love-filled affirmations or declarations. A good place to start is I am that I am, interpreted as I am all that God is. Another is I am one with God and God is one with me. There is no separation from God. We are all one in Him. Another good one is every door that has been closed to me is now opened to me. That door can be relationships, careers, money, whatever it is, the door is now open. And another tool you can use to experience this love is what I called releasing. You can allow yourself to let go and release all the pain and negative emotion within with ease and with grace. Now, you may be asking, how do you know all this? What are your credentials? Well, I have plenty of paper, and I'm not going to bore you with that. If you decide to work with me, I'll share that information. But here is my biggest teacher, life. Because I had low self esteem. I have lived in fear. I have felt unworthy. I have spent thousands of dollars working with coaches, and I have been burned. But I promise you, there are those of us who are out there. There are the advisors and support groups and the coaches who are out there who really care. And you can't go through this alone. Trust me, you don't need to go through it alone. These are only a few things you can begin to do to raise yourself from the doldrums of victimhood. You may not find yourself walking into freedom or understanding any of the above overnight. Trust me, it's not easy and it won't be overnight. But remain diligent, tenacious, and focused, desiring the life that Source, God, Mother Nature, whatever name making you comfortable, has planned for you from the beginning of time. The plan is to prosper you and to bring you hope. You will one day, very soon, begin to live your ultimate life. So, what's love got to do with it? Everything, all the time, and everywhere. And it's starting right here, right now, with you.